Hello and welcome to episode number 12 of AEW Rise to the Top, where we take over as Tony Khan with AEW and try and get them to be the biggest professional wrestling company in the world in TEW 2020. And we are here again with another episode of Dark and another episode of Dynamite. Let's not waste any bloody time. Let's just get straight into it. So we'll be with you in Dark in 1 second. And we kick off Dark at the commentary table with Excalibur and Taz. Excalibur says, "Hello and welcome to AEW Dark. We have got an action-packed episode for you tonight featuring Lance Archer taking on our newest signing, Christian Casanova. And our main event is FTR going up against the Gun Club." And then Taz says, "But kicking us off tonight is the AEW Women's Champion Hikaru Shida going one-on-one with Yuka Sakazaki." So I got a 43 rating. Nothing to say about it. Nothing really. Oh, Christopher Daniels did good road agenting, which is good, I guess. Nothing really, to say about that. Just giving a rundown of the show. So let's move on to that match between Hikaru Shida and Yuka Sakazaki. And in a terrible match, Hikaru Shida defeated Yuka Sakazaki in 11 minutes and 1 second with a Tamashi no 3 count. This got a 32 rating. Shida got a 35, Sakazaki got a 29. The Doctor vs. Shida storyline advanced, and the colour commentary gave this match a boost. Why did this do so badly? Penalised for holding back, penalised for holding back, penalised for odd face heel combination. Oh, yeah. Announcing quality. Okay, well, who cares about that stuff? So let's move on to the next segment. And in an extremely short match, Colt Cabana defeated Scorpio Sky. That's not right. That's not what I said to happen. Okay, ignore that because that's not what maybe I put it in wrong. But what happens is Scorpio Sky and Colt Cabana are their matches just starting to get going, just starting to ramp up in intensity. And then Christopher Daniels and Frankie Kazarian cause a disqualification by attacking Scorpio Sky. So it would be Scorpio Sky still gets the victory because he's the one who gets attacked. So Colt Cabana is disqualified, but the match is thrown out. And Scorpio Sky is getting beat down by SCU. So Sky had a 55, Cabana had a 41. The SCU Never storyline advanced. And the segment rating got a 37. Frankie Kazarian should interfere against Scorpio Sky as the finish. And it should end with a D. Maybe I've done something wrong with that. I'm not really sure. Anyway, let's move on to the next segment. Here we go. So after the bell rings, SCU continue the attack on Scorpio Sky. They set him up for the SCU later, but Jericho, Santana, and Ortiz rush down to the ring to make the save. SCU drop Sky and roll out the ring, escaping through the crowd. Jericho is shouting at the fleeing SCU while Santana and Ortiz get Sky back to his feet. So it's got a 57. The performance of Chris Jericho was fantastic, which is what we like to see. The SCU Never storyline has advanced. And so just furthering the Scorpio Sky SCU tension. Scorpio Sky still seemingly not willing to fight back at all. Well, maybe he would fight back. He hasn't really had the chance yet, but unwilling to explain his actions at Fyter Fest. So let's move on to the next segment. So it is Lance Archer taking on the newest signing in AEW, Christian Casanova. And in a bout that had subpar wrestling and little heat, Lance Archer defeated Christian Casanova in 9:59 with a blackout. This got a 39 rating. Archer and Casanova both got a 43 rating, which is nice. The colour commentary gave the match a boost. Jake Roberts did some good work, and they are a good pairing. What did we get penalised for? I should probably look at these more because, if you get rid of what's penalising you, then you'll get better scores. I'm big brain thinking right now. Holding, are they? Why did they hold back? Is that because they're not going all out? But that's fine. So 39 rating, not too bad. Let's move on to the next segment. Jake Roberts climbs in the ring with a microphone. Look at this monster. He strikes fear into the heart of everyone in AEW. I can hear you asking, how do you know this, Jake? I know this because Lance was not on the card for Fyter Fest, and so far, Lance isn't on the card for All Out. Now answer me this. What reason could there be for this except the locker room is scared to face him? Hey, I get it. I'd be scared too. But the thing about Lance is, he's scarier outside the ring than inside of it. So we are laying down a challenge. Anyone in that locker room, we will be at All Out, and if we don't get a match, this monster is going to go back there and beat the shit out of every one of you. I got a 59 rating, so yeah. Lance Archer putting a challenge down for All Out, getting himself on the All Out card. And performance of Jake Roberts was good. He worked the crowd well. Everything was good. Again, it's just the announcing quality is really getting penalised for low experience. But, I mean, the more shows we do, the less that'll happen. So, I guess that's something we'll just have to deal with on Dark for now. But that's all right. So, yeah, I was expecting a bit better from like Jake Roberts, who's got like 91 to 99 microphone. But, oh well. Maybe Lance Archer brought him down a bit. And I should have just done it. Or not having Lance Archer be ranked, but that's okay. Let's move on to the next segment. And it is a video detailing that Moxley will address the AEW World Heavyweight Championship scene tomorrow night on Dynamite. A quick recap. Last week in the main event, Moxley was pinned by MJF, and earlier in the night, Darby Allin called out Moxley, who he called out weeks ago and didn't hear anything about, to say that why is MJF getting a shot at you first? So the Future is Here storyline advanced with this segment. They got a 69 rating, and Moxley benefited from a groundswell of public support. That was just limited for being short, but it's a video package, so that's fine. And let's move on to the main event of Dark. So it is FDR taking on Austin and Billy Gunn, the Gun Club. And it is FTR who pick up the defeat when Cash Wheeler pinned Billy Gunn after a Goodnight Express. Billy Gunn was terrible in the ring. I won't use him anymore. He's getting a bit old, I think. Maybe it's time for him to retire. Move to more of a managerial role for Austin, maybe. Who knows? I got 44, bit disappointing. 53 for Dax, 55 for Wheeler, 39 for Austin, and a 26 for Billy. The F the Rest storyline has advanced but lost heat, and Austin Gunn seemed off his game. Lot of penalizations here. Penalizations? Is that a word? Lots of penalties. There we go. Let's move on to the final screen and see what rating we got overall. And it's a 46, so slightly better than last week. We got 44 last week. Pretty decent show. We've got Lance Archer laying down that open challenge for All Out. That's coming up in a few weeks' time. And with that being said, let's move on to AEW Dynamite. I'll see you in a few seconds. Hello and welcome to AEW Dynamite, coming at you live from the Aberdeen Pavilion. And we are starting off at the commentary desk with JR, Excalibur and Tony Schiavone. JR, good evening ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Dynamite. We have a packed show for you tonight with a huge main event, isn't that right, Tony? You're damn right, JR. Cody v Spears 3 for the TNT Championship, and that's not all we've got for you. The final first round match and the first semi-final in the 3-man tag team tournament, and we will see Bea Priestley in action against Big Swole, Excalibur. But first, we've got a 5-man elimination match to find out who will challenge for the TNT Championship at All Out. So they got a 44 rating, just running down the show. Alright, in future I will remember to script Excalibur, that's fine. What do we get penalised for? Excalibur improvising badly was the only thing. Nice, not too bad. 44 to start off with. Now let's go into that 5-man elimination matchup. And it is between Austin Gunn, Colt Cabana, Wardlow, Shima, and Joey Janela. The first man eliminated was Colt Cabana, then Shima, then Wardlow, the big man, where it came down to Austin Gunn and Joey Janela. And it is Austin Gunn who is going on to All Out to challenge the winner of the main event tonight at All Out for the TNT Championship. It's a huge match to start off. It says it was a poor match. Only a 47 rating. But that's alright. None of these guys really have huge star power. Austin Gunn had a 38. Cabana had a 49. Wardlow had a 35. Shima had a 46. And Janela had a 44. Commentary gave it a boost. And what do we get penalised for? Holding back, inexperienced, all that good stuff, all that normal stuff. So let's move on to the next segment. And it is Britt Baker coming out to the ring with a microphone. All Out is only 10 days away, which means you all have just 10 days left to deal with having a women's champion you don't respect. A women's champion who is a disgrace to the division. A women's champion who, and Britt is cut off by Shida's music. Shida walks down to the ring. In 10 days' time, every fan at home will still have a fighting champion. Shida drops the mic and pounces on Britt, laying her out with punches. Britt manages to fight her off and roll out the ring. She runs up the ramp while Shida is shouting at her to come back and fight. They got a 32 rating. A bit annoying, to be honest. Dr. Vishida's storyline has advanced but lost heat. Dr. Breaker was poor when trying to improvise dialogue. Shida did well. It cooled the crowd a little bit. Is that just... where's the penalised? Dr. Britt Baker penalised for improvising. Yeah, so I just need to script her in the future as well. Let's move on to the next segment. And it is the final first round matchup between in the 3-man tag team championship tournament. That is a bloody mouthful to say every time. And it is the Jurassic Express taking on Chris Jericho, Santana, and Ortiz of the Inner Circle. And in a decent match, it is the Inner Circle who move on to the semi-finals when Chris Jericho pinned Marco Stunt with a Lion Salt after 12:28. I'll change that. With a Judas effect. That's better. Chris Jericho was head and shoulders above everyone else in the ring. It got a 54 again. Was kind of hoping for a bit more. 43 for Marco Stunt, 37 for Jungle Boy, 38 for Luchasaurus. I tried to protect him because he's been getting really low ratings and that seemed to have paid off slightly. 60 for Ortiz, 59 for Santana, and a 73 for Chris Jericho. And Jericho came out looking really good. So that's good. So now let's move on to the next segment. And after that matchup, we see a graphic hyping the second semi-final of the tournament. The Elite, Cody, Matt, and Nick Jackson taking on Chris Jericho, Santana, and Ortiz of the Inner Circle, which takes place next week. So that is a 52. The Elite have some public support, just a quick little video to be like, hey, look, this is happening next week. So that's nice. Kathy Kelly. Next up, we go backstage to see Kathy Kelly interviewing Tenille. I'm joined at this time by Tenille Dashwood. Tenille, last week during your interview, cheerleader Melissa attacked you. Do you have a message you want to send to her? Well, Kathy, I've been talking to Tony this week about how to settle this little issue between us, and he had a great idea. Tenille versus cheerleader Melissa at All Out. So well done, Melissa, for getting a cheap shot on me last week, but at All Out, you won't get that chance. That was only a 25 again, not very good. Kathy Kelly was poor, so she needs to be scripted as well. A lot of people need to be scripted. But they're both getting better at their gimmicks, which is good. Is that why penalised for improvising, and they're both penalised for having a poor gimmick? Yeah. Okay. Well, okay. Let's move on to the next segment. Oh my god. Oh, in a bout that had little heat and embarrassing wrestling, B. Priestley defeated Big Swole in 8:49 by pinfall. This is going to be a terrible episode. This is going to be awful. 24 rating, awful. 23 for Big Swole and a 34 for B. Priestley. The Dark Order Grows storyline has been advanced. They didn't like seeing B. Priestley. Big Swole was off her game. Crowd was turned off. The match was poorly placed. Everything bad about this. For God's sake. This episode is going to be terrible. Let's move on to the next segment. So it is the first semi-final of the 3-man tag team championship tournament with Best Friends taking on Death Triangle. And in 20 minutes and 39 seconds, it is the Death Triangle who move on to face the winner of the Inner Circle v the Elite at All Out. The Death Triangle instrumental in getting this tournament going, getting this championship going. And they are through to the final. Pac was head and shoulders above everyone else. It's got a 67, which again, I was hoping for more. The first champ storyline advanced but lost heat. Pac got an 81, Phoenix got a 69, and Pentagon got a 64. Orange got a 61, Trent had a 57, and Chuck had a 52. This match dragged at the end. I had them going at an all-out pace, which is not very good because I did that for the main event and I made the main event longer than this match. So this is just going to be a terrible rated show. Okay, let's move on to the next segment. And it is... we go backstage to see that Big Swole is walking around backstage, upset after another loss. She walks up to a door with the Dark Order logo on it. She knocks and Mr. Brody Lee opens the door. Welcome, please come in. Big Swole enters and Lee closes the door behind her. So more ongoing between Big Swole and the Dark Order here. The Dark Order grows storyline has advanced. Mr. Brody Lee was very poor as well. Everyone's just been poor at improvising dialogue for some reason, even though he's normally pretty good at it. So I don't really know what's going on with that one. Anyway, let's move on to the next segment. This is more bloody like it. Finally. John Moxley enters through the crowd and hits the ring. Last week was a big week for me, getting called out by Darby and getting my first loss in AEW to MJF. That gave me a lot to think about. Who deserves the title shot more? You've got Allen, who beat MJF at Fyter Fest and has been undefeated for 2 months. He has earned the shot. Or you've got Max, the man who pinned me. I mean, he may have had some help, but that doesn't change the fact that he beat me. So I've been sat at home all week thinking this over and over and over, and then it hit me. Why take on one of them when I can take on both? But Max, you aren't going to screw me over again. So we're all out. It's going to be Moxley v Allen v MJF inside a steel cage. Boom. There is your main event for All Out. A triple threat steel cage matchup between John Moxley, Darby Allin, and Maxwell Jacob Friedman. They got a 78 rating. That's more like it. That's what we like to see. The Future is Here storyline has advanced. John Moxley improvised well. Excalibur was weak, and it got the crowd hotter, ready for that main event, which is coming up next. And let's see how we get on there. I was really hoping for more than this, to be honest. Anyway, Cody versus Shawn Spears 3. They both go into this one apiece for the TNT Championship. It is about that had good heat and decent wrestling. And in 23 minutes and 51 seconds, Shawn Spears retains his title, hitting a rolling Death Valley driver after Tully Blanchard interfered, meaning Shawn Spears makes defense number 1 of the AEW TNT Championship. Again, disappointed with this, only a 53. Thought this would have been higher. Cody had a performance of 54. Spears had a performance of 52. TNT Championship storyline has advanced. All the announcing helped. Cody was great. Tully Blanchard did good work. What is this getting penalised for? Cody was penalised for holding back inconsistency and low morale. I probably shouldn't be pushing people who are angry, but everyone I want to push is angry. Oh well, let's move on to the final segment of Dynamite. Shawn Spears celebrates his first title defense in the ring. Austin Gunn's music hits. Austin walks out to the entrance ramp and stares Spears down. He raises his hand and points at the title. We go off air with Spears hugging his belt, looking worried. So there we go, just a bit more to big up the Austin Gunn v Shawn Spears match at All Out, because we're not going to have much time to build it. So I messed up a little bit with the TNT Championship, I think, with this. But oh well, let's finish the show and see the rating we're going to get. If it's above If it's above like 60, I will be happy. 62 and I'll be happy. Okay, it is 62. It lost us popularity in 3 regions and gained us popularity in 23 regions. That is a huge step down. I thought, I've been doing better at this. That's just terrible. Just terrible. The only dark green one is John Moxley promo. That's really bad. That's really bad. Oh well. These things happen. Let's go and see. I'm not even going to say see if we beat NXT. Let's go and see by how much NXT beat us. Yeah, I'll see you in a sec. Okay, so we are back at the home screen. Let's check out the news reports. Just last night's stuff. Taya Valkyrie is going to have a new field between her and Michael Elgin. Black Taurus becomes a meme, apparently, which is cool. And extensions for Jinder Mahal and Jake Atlas. I saw them come up, but I didn't really want to bid on either of them. None of them, that intrigued me. So we got a 62. Let's see how NXT got on. They got a 70. They got a 70, so they've slipped down after the last couple weeks as well. Being like mid to high 70s. All Japan had a 53. And Ring of Honor got a 78. Ring of Honor are just destroying it, man. So let's see. What did NXT do in ratings-wise? They had a 2.24. Let's see if we got anywhere near that. We had a 1.95, which is fair because it wasn't a good show. That's really annoying. That's all right. We'll be back. So this is for Wednesday. So we'll be back on Friday, 3 p.m. UK time with the Go Home show for All Out, and then All Out will be here on Monday. If you enjoyed this episode, drop a like, drop a comment. Please help me with what I'm doing wrong in the comments. And yeah, if you enjoyed it, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Tweet about it, tell a friend, put it on Facebook, put it on your Instagram story. I don't know why I'm going so much detail into all the different social media things you can use. I'm sure you're aware of social media platforms as someone who lives in the 21st century. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.